Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my side of YouTube. I am your host, and today we are going to be doing 205 Live NXT review, and we're also going to be doing a basically recap of the entire week of wrestling starting on Sundays, because Sunday to me is the first day of the week. Now, that means I'm going to compare the pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell, I'm going to compare Raw, SmackDown, 205 Live, NXT, tell you the best matches, the top performer, or performers, because in this case, there's a couple guys, and the best show. Overall, I'm going to say the best show, if you want the most bang for your buck, is SmackDown. But, if you like more wrestling, you want to go with maybe 205 Live or NXT. It's got a lot better wrestling going on there. Now, we're going to go to the next thing. And the next thing is NXT 205 Live. Were they worth watching? Well, I'm going to say yes. Both shows are pretty good. I did skip the first women's match because I didn't know who they were. I didn't care. I had kids distracting me. So I just went ahead and just skipped that altogether and just fast forward through it most of the time. But the matches I did watch were really good. And I'm going to say NXT, while I did skip the first match and the show's only an hour long and they had multiple matches throughout the night, I'm going to say the main event, which was Ricochet and Will Ospreay or whatever his name, not Will Ospreay, the Bruiserweight guy. Can't think of his name right now. I'm just going to call him the Bruiserweight because that's what I kept hearing throughout the match. Audience loved the match. Great match. So the Bruiserweight guy and Ricochet were going at it. Really good match. I would put it up there in the contendership of top match of the week. Also, going to say on Hell in a Cell, I really like the Joe Styles match, but I also like the match between AJ and Cialis or something like that. Do you know his name? The Mexican guy? Don't know. Really good. I should know his name because he's really good. I think it's Andrade Cialis or Andrade. I'm just gonna call him Andrade. Probably saying it all wrong. But that guy was really good. You know, just to say, a lot of the Latino wrestlers or Mexican or whatever you want to call them, a lot of them, the luchadors or luchas as they call them, they're better than a lot of the guys that beat them. They're actually the better performers. A lot of them are. No biasness. Realistically, they do everything. Technical to high flying. They got it all. They just wear masks all the time. And you think that would make him push more for making money, but it's whatever. Now, let's talk about 205 Live. 205 Live had a match that I didn't think I was going to like that much, but I ended up liking it. It was with a luchador wrestler. Not really sure what his name is right now. Let's look into it. I don't take notes or anything very much. I like to do it unscripted. But once I get their names down after a couple weeks, I'll know who they are, and I'll be able to do these a lot more efficiently. And PJ Black, or TJ Black, yeah, it's TJ Black, not PJ Black. TJ Black, who I known him as Manic, and and he was Suicide for like a little while. I thought that match wasn't going to be good. It was actually pretty good. The main event was Cedric Alexander. The guy was always talented in Ring of Honor. He's really good here. He shows. I'd say he's better now than he ever was. He had a match with Drew Gulak, and I actually was surprised the match was as good as it was. And I would put it in a contender as one of the top matches of the week. You know, there was a lot of top matches this week. But we're going to talk about the top match. I'm going to go with either one of them, but I have to pick one. I really don't want to because they're all so good. But if I had to watch a match back again, I'm going to have to say I would rewatch the AJ Styles match with Andrade. And I think that's his name. I think that was probably the best match But then again, I do like Joe and Styles. I've always liked Joe and Styles since TNA. They were some of the best matches. Raw really didn't have much as a main event compared to the other shows I just named. So yeah, and Hell in a Cell also had a bad main event. And it's not Roman Reigns 100%, because Braun Strowman just isn't that good. So he should never main event. Braun Strowman should never main event a show. The guy has nothing really to offer anyone. He looks exactly like my stepdad. You know, I love my stepdad, but I mean, my stepdad actually has more charisma than this guy does. You know, the thing about it is Roman Reigns is not completely to blame, though he is pretty bad because he draws less than Cena, and Cena never drew hardly a dime. Maybe on merch, but that's because the company's policy changed to merch. Not that the guy themselves were that good. You know, look at the ratings. They're not lying. They're not bringing in viewerships. The company isn't focusing on the right people. They're focusing on these outdated style wrestlers when they need to focus on guys like AJ Styles, Ricochet. Now, they missed the boat with AJ Styles a while ago. They had the opportunity to take these high flyers and push them to the forefront, but they push them to the side because WWE doesn't know how to do cruiserweights back in the day. Or at least did them right. Now they just shove them in their own brand and leave them alone. But they're doing the wrong thing because people like Styles is a world champion today, meaning that I am by fact right that he was the future, and by letting him not join that company sooner was a mistake. Where they fixed their mistake is they got Ricochet. People like Ricochet, not Roman Reigns, are the future of pro wrestling. If you talk to anyone who's a casual, who just tunes in every now and again, they're not going to sit there and watch Triple H sit there and fight Billy Gunn anymore. It's not going to work anymore. They're not going to sit there and watch someone like Dean Malenko fight someone that's another, mat wrestler, like the Bruiserweight guy. Nothing against these people, and that style is appreciated. But too much of something can ruin it. And you really need things to fly by as a viewer. An example of this is I watched 205 Live in NXT. NXT felt like it took an hour and I skipped the first match. While 205 Live felt like 30 minutes and it only had 2 matches that were really long matches. But both matches were so good that you had to watch it, and I wanted to pause it when I walked away. Just like I did the Ricochet match in 205 Live. So what I'm going to say here is performer-wise, I want to give it to Ricochet. I do. But Cedric Alexander, I think, did a lot better to keep me tuned in more. Because of the Bruiserweight guy in that match. He just slowed it down too much for a viewer like myself, or any new viewers you want to bring in. He was slowing it down. Why I do appreciate a good fashion, bruising style with strikes and technicians. The only wrestler I see today that can pull it off or a way that I actually enjoy watching is Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly is what you need to be looking at when you're looking at guys that are technicians that do striking. That is what it is. Kyle O'Reilly is the future of that. Nothing against any of these guys. They're all great workers. It is what it is. But I'm talking about if you want to tune people in, keep them tuned in, keep them interested like the casuals. You need people like these, like Ricochet. Kyle O'Reilly's a good hand. You have, all these people. And as far as I'm concerned, the best show of the week is definitely going to have to be, for me, SmackDown. You should check that out for the story-wise. The best match of the week, I'm going to give it to Drew Gulak and... No, I take that back. I'm just going to give it to the Bruiserweight guy and Ricochet. No, I can't do that either. It's such a tough decision. I'll let you decide what match you like. Ricochet versus the Bruiserweight? Or do you like Drew Gulak versus Cedric Alexander? You can't go wrong anyway. I would probably have had to pick the Bruiserweight versus Ricochet. I really liked that match. It had a lot going for it, but the match with Alexander, he did so good himself. I'm going to give him the Performer of the Week. And that's it. That's my review. That's my show. Hopefully you like what you see. Hopefully you want more people talking like me in pro wrestling, because these other people are just fans and they're gullible. They're so gullible, and I'm saying gullible like Gollum because that's how they look to me. They are so gullible that they like their Roman Reigns and John Cena's. They can have it. But if you want real wrestling, you want to watch this reviewer, because I will talk about the real wrestlers, the real talented individuals that can do everything your favorite does and more. Thank you for your time. Have a good day or good night.